Today is Holocaust Remembrance Day. It's January 27th, 2024, just the date this. And in case you don't know what the Holocaust is, because, I don't know, maybe you're living under a rock. The Holocaust happened during World War II, when the Nazi Germany took the Jews, gays, disabled, any race, to Alcatraz or any camp they made and based them to work under labor and harsh terms, or they killed them. So yeah, here's a poem dedicated to all the people who either survived that or died from it. So let's begin. When I was afraid of the sand caving in and the ghostly screams of the village, you held and rocked me close, in your arms like a cradle, until I felt the warmth of his star. Before the ghostly cry, whom now worn our visitors dry, a new symbol was printed upon the synagogue door. Much like his star, it was of several lines, tied with many allies, unlike his star. Those allies held a dark side, lurking amongst our blind side. When I was afraid of the hollering men, who wore blood red on their shoulder like a badge, you hushed and rocked me close, in your arms like a cradle, until I felt the warmth of his star. Before the hollering men, whom now determined our children shy, swept the sandstone streets with our belongings, as they demanded them, and we dared not ask why. Howls crept at night, alerting us this would not be the last, telling us our herd was the blackest of all, and the wolves would come into play. When I was afraid of the train's screaming horn and the children crying loud as we were taken away, you held and rocked me close, in your arms like a cradle, until I felt the warmth of his star. Before the train screaming, which brings tears to our elders' graves, a black shadow of fog rolled over our prayer, and ran our rivers dry. Pushing us in line, forcing us inside, the train cars were small, and not many of us were with our family. Yet, needs were thrown aside, crammed in until the door slammed shut. Before that slammed, I looked out as it was open ajar, and watched the ginger crackling of what was once our happy village. And I was afraid of the echoing terrors from the gas chambers, as long lines of chosen people stood outside waiting for their turn. You hushed and rocked me close, in your arms like a cradle, until I felt the warmth of his star. Before the gas chambers, which brings fear to our mothers' hearts, out of the train cars we were taken, pushed into different groups, by age, by build, by gender, and last but not all, by expiration date. In those groups, I saw many new faces, from other trains that were opened with our own, faces of new color, faces of new backstory, faces of new symbols, faces of broken body parts and functions, faces of loving the same sex. This was not just my hell. This was our hell. Torn away from what we knew, torn away from what we loved, thrown into labor until our bones run dry. When I was afraid, I would look up into the night sky, close my eyes, and pray for his star to help us tonight. Thank you.